Hello ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to the ARK Watch. Every single week I'll give you all the information that's going on in ARK Survival Evolved, any news about updates, what's going on with bug fixes, and showing you stuff from in and around the community. We're kicking off today with just a tiny glimpse of something I'm going to be showing you later from a very small channel highlighting his build on an official server. I thought this was quite funny because it really is against everything we see in the trailers coming from Wildcard and ARK Survival Evolved, how PvP is. But this is kind of how real PvP is. Don't you really wish it wasn't like this? Shouldn't it be a case of having maybe some more normal looking bases rather than these ridiculous towers and pillars and just spamming the crap out of foundations and turrets? It's absolutely bonkers. We'll be taking a look at that a little bit more and just comparing it to what Wildcard think PvP is compared to what it really is like in real life. Also talking about a small few things, including Easter stuff that's got to be fixed, and just generally Wildcard really trying to make improvements, how they're talking to the community. So the community crunch was posted last night and it's got a good amount of information regarding new servers on PC, the classic PvP, basically making some changes with that, although still no news on whether or not Xbox or PS4 will ever get them. And like I said, there is a patch coming hopefully this Wednesday for Xbox and PS4 which fixes a few things. So on PC, classic PvP is going to merge all their separate clusters into one large cluster. This is going to actually happen on Wednesday, this Wednesday. So don't have anything in your obelisks on official PvP if you're playing the classic version. It will be deleted when they move these clusters. If you've been trying to get the Dino Marshmallow hat as part of the Excellent Adventure event, you will notice you can't actually get it from the cooking pot sometimes. Well, that's been fixed this Wednesday, although I guess there won't be too much more time to enjoy it because the event's going to be finishing soon. They've also done a fix on Plant X, disabled fast turret targeting change for now, further iteration required. Dinos fixed movement bugs related to stat impulse change which affected movement from Managamar, gas bags and others, and turrets now ignore players using leave me alone or enemy invisible admin cheats. They've also done a mantis fix for weapons not equipping properly. So that's pretty small. I mean, that is really just what's going on this Wednesday, but it's good to see at least a little hot fix is coming. Now this next section is something I really like, and you know what, I'm going to accuse Wildcard of stealing my ideas. It's the social roundup. They're basically listing all the stuff they're talking about on social media. One of the biggest complaints that a lot of people have is, you don't ever reply back to us. We don't ever see you on social media. Well, Zed has probably took that on board and said, you know what, I'm going to show you guys we are on social media and we are replying. I'm still a little bit sad this is it for like a week. There's not that much comments coming, particularly from the actual development side. I'd like to see them actively more involved and not just Chris. Chris is literally the lead guy for ARK. He's the one that makes these big decisions and designs, and he regularly is on Reddit answering questions and stuff like that, but not so much some of the other designers and other sort of game devs. So great start. I really would like to see more devs giving more feedback and answering more questions. I know they're busy, I know not everyone can spend all day on social media, but it does pay to show that your team is listening and replying. And I think over the last few weeks, since Zed has got more and more involved, I definitely feel like ARK has got a little bit more positive. But Zed has listed it all, and this is pretty much what I do in my videos. I go around using a tool, ARK Dev Tracker, and it just tracks everything the devs and the community managers are speaking about. That's how I give you all my information. So I'm really pleased to see that Zed has actually gone through it all. So pretty much most of this stuff has been covered in this hotfix here. There are just a few extra things that Zed has weighed in talking about the Managamar. They're going to maybe iterate on it still more. One thing to maybe get a little bit excited about, PvE shouldn't be affected by PvP. That is one huge big thing lots of players would love to see. Not everything being affected just by PvP. So much in the past, game mechanics that affected PvP don't really make sense on PvE, and likewise I'm sure it's the other way around. So it'd be really cool if they could somehow update the game separately. I think that's way too much effort for them though. I think that would be way too much work for them to actually achieve that, but it's something that I think a lot of people would love to see. Quick scan, they are looking at a chargeability, it's still bugged and broken. They are looking at text storage display, that is still going to be being worked on. And Zed has replied in answer to giving dates and talking about future plans showing content. Lots of people in media take those as commitments of future work. We like to announce new content when all the moving parts slow down. Some ideas get shot down, some content gets cut. It's the reality of game development. Communicating every idea or project that's been worked on wouldn't really be a healthy situation for the business or the players. Yes and no. Yes and no said. I've got to agree and disagree. I think for a game that's coming out and maybe you want to be a bit careful about what's going to be appearing in that game, you should be careful about overhyping stuff. And we know ARK has overhyped lots and lots of things in the past. And you guys know I can't stand the clickbaiters that just keep saying the same shit every day and labelling it official news as if we're getting all these modded maps coming to console when it's not true at all. That's what happens when you get some people talking slightly about new content. Even if it's modded content, people will run with that and say that it's actually happening. I've done it in the past, lots of ARK YouTubers have done it as well. It's just one of them things. You try and give all the news and sometimes you will just give more gossip and more sort of circumstantial stuff rather than actual concrete info. That's why it's so important that I do this ARK watch every week. You'll get less content, but when you do get the content, it's going to be real good content, as in you can understand and trust it. That's the plan anyway. But anyway, back to what Said's saying, I think a game that's been out of early access nearly 2 years now should always have a roadmap. If you're going to have content coming through, there's nothing wrong in trying to say to people, look, this year, 2019, we plan to release at least one piece of free DLC, or we are going to be actively looking at releasing paid DLC. Maybe they've learned a lesson from Extinction, which just launched in such a poor state and just was not ready. Maybe they really don't want to do that again. But even that, they really delayed normally what they'd release info on. Maybe because it was just so poor. But yeah, I'd like to see maybe not a full roadmap then. Obviously they still are worried about doing stuff. But that to me shows that maybe ARK is not necessarily being given enough attention. If you can't really lay out your plans for a year for one of the most popular games going that has over 13 million people bought the copy of ARK Survival Evolved, I think it's a shame. I think that really signals to me ARK isn't getting the development it needs. It's maybe not getting the resources. We're coming up to May now and we still have absolutely no idea when any new content's going to be popping up. The only time we knew about any content at all was when Extinction was launching, and when they did the Homestead updates, they talked a tiny little bit about the fact that ARK is going to receive some sort of content. Their competitors, who are getting pretty big at the moment off of Conan Exiles, have a small, tiny little plan of a roadmap. They've mentioned publicly they're working on 3 more dungeons, and we know that they've got a season pass full of DLC content. I'll bet lots of it is more cosmetic side, but that is all coming in 2019. Bearing in mind they are a much smaller game than ARK Survival Evolved, it's interesting to see how both of them deal with certain situations. So I agree, don't overhype stuff, and it's really got to be important, but you do need to give us some information, and I think it's not unfair to ask for some idea of what content plans are going to be for the rest of the year. Other than that, they're just talking about meshing and stuff that's going on with that, and Jen has also said that it's still on their radar to possibly do something about a solo or duo server. This was mooted around a little while ago by Kishko. He basically wanted to have a new type of server, not just the small man tribes, but something really like solo duos. Jen has said it's still on their radar, but no promises yet though. Now, something more exciting is these game modes that we've seen. If you want stuff like Conquest to come to console, or you do want the classic PvP mode, you may be able to actually have an influence in it. They're changing their suggestions form on the community forum to make it more of an upvote system, so pretty much like Reddit. Basically, they'll put some ideas, or there'll be lots of things there, feedback, and you'll be able to upvote ideas. So some of these ideas may actually make it into the game. I'm going to take a look at this and I'm going to show it off to you guys when I get the chance, or maybe we'll look at it next week in next week's ARK Watch. And that is pretty much it. So not a whole host of things going on really. Like, it's not sexy. It's not a sexy ARK. It's just, you know, stuff that's important going along, but it's not really sexy. So you know all about ARK Survival Evolved Spotlight trailers. They don't do as many because we don't get a game updated as much, but it kind of shows this carefree attitude with PvP. You'd have a few survivors chasing after some others, and it's all very small and structured, and it seems quite nice and pleasant. It's the ARK that I want to play. I want to be able to go off and attack someone with just a few dinosaurs and have some battles, but PvP doesn't really work like that, does it? You're not going up against someone's beautiful castle they've built and trying to take them down. What in fact you actually get is this. This is from a guy called Lemute on WW. I'm guessing that's the name of the clan. Apparently they're on PS4. I don't know how legit this is. It says it's an official server, but obviously it does look like they're flying around quite a bit. But even if it's not, this is just maybe a bit of an exaggeration of what it's like playing on official servers. This is ARK in 2019. It's a bit ridiculous. It just isn't. I don't think it's the game that I ever envisioned. Maybe PvPers love this stuff. Maybe you guys are really like, yeah, normal, that's what I'd love to. Maybe people are like going, oh man, I wish my base was like this. But to me, it's just awful. It's just really bad. It's always been like this. ARK PvP is just basically put up as many foundations, as many doorways, as many turret towers as possible, and that's how you defend your bases and do stuff. Rather than maybe being a little bit more, I don't know, I don't want to say nicer PvP, but something a little bit more nicer looking. I think it shows that the PvP in ARK can be really, really unique to ARK. I don't think there's many other games like this out there. Even Rust has lots of building walls and that's your main protection. But I guess with so many dinosaurs that can just literally go and demolish your stuff, you do need more protection than just some thick walls. But yeah, what do you think about PvP in ARK? How are you guys feeling about it? Is it something that you've ever really spent a lot of time in? I haven't, not on official servers anyway. The idea of doing this on a daily basis makes me want to just go and chuck myself under a T-Rex. Like literally, it bore the shit out of me spamming foundations down and trying to build up. However, I have spent a bit of time playing Atlas PvP and that really got involved, really got me going to the point where I was getting a bit obnoxious and angry and I was getting really intense. Because that's what PvP does to you, I guess. So yeah, let me know what you think about PvP. Go and check out this guy's channel as well. I don't know how serious of a channel it is. I just found it browsing through this morning. I just thought it was a good indication of what PvP could be like on official servers, rather than maybe what it should be like, as opposed to what ARK think it is. But yeah, there we go. Just a little thing. I'm just going to finish off taking a look at a few mods and stuff, or just announcing that I'm going to take a look at some of this stuff. I play Xbox and PS4. That's what I champion the most, games that are coming to console. But I do have a fairly decent PC still, and there are definitely a lot of mods that I'm more interested in trying out. Some new ones, not just all the old boring ones, well not boring, but the stuff that every YouTuber has kind of covered. So if you know any really unique mods that maybe don't get enough attention, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'm going to take a little look at them and start maybe doing a tiny little mod spotlight series. Maybe just give an idea of what people are interested in and what they're not interested in. I really would love all these mods to come to console, but just to reiterate, they're not gonna. As ARK, as you've seen, they're really slow at getting some updates out. They haven't got the time or resources to mod and convert all these over, and it can't be like Skyrim. They've said they won't be able to do a modding system like Skyrim or Fallout. It has to be ported over like Ragnarok. So we'll only ever get 1, maybe 2, 3 mods a year if we're lucky, and that is really the limit of what you'll get on ARK Survival Evolved. But yeah, I'm still interested. I still want to take a look at some of the stuff here. I think it could be good, and maybe even do like little mini Let's Plays. Let me know what you think about modded content on the channel. And just a big thank you for everyone that liked my cinematic showing off one of my subscribers' base tours. Thanks has been part of my channel for a long time. He's been watching, viewing me for a good few years now, and he's played on my servers in the past, and it was just a good opportunity to show what he'd been building. I'm not the best cinematographer, and I am doing it on the Spud box, otherwise known as the Xbox X, so there is frame rate issues. It doesn't look as sexy as it could do, but I can only work with the tools that I'm given. But I like doing this stuff. I like it. It's fun for me. I don't do it because I'm going to get views out of it. I do it because it's just something fun and it involves my community. So if you've got an idea, if you've got a real strong idea, talk to me in Discord, send me some screenshots of what you've already built, and maybe we can work on something together and come up with another cinematic idea showing off basically base builds, because that's what it's for. It's not really just to tell a story, it's more just to show off what people are building as well, because I love taking a look at what people's creativity is. That's what I just want to say about that one. I'll be back hopefully next week with sexy ARK news. Stay tuned, looking out for maybe some modded stuff coming soon. And if you do want to come and play on my ARK servers, we've got plenty of spaces on Xbox and PS4. You just need to join Discord and give me some details so we know you're not a troll. And you can come and join for free. Until next time, ratbags, laters.